Alright, so hey guys, Aidan here, and today we'll be doing a bit of a mixed video. So first of all, we'll be starting off with a build tour of my PC, then we'll be moving on to a bit of a setup tour as such, because I'm moving very soon, so this is about to be all dismantled and taken down, and then after that, it'll be a little bit of a channel update as we just broke 100 subscribers, so thank you for that, and I'll be doing a little bit of a talk about how the channel's going and a little bit of bits and bobs, so let's get into it. While my PC is constantly evolving, I currently have it built as a Mini-ITX system. The hardware is cased in a white Node 304 from Fractal Design, and I chose this case because of the huge amount of hardware which can fit in it, while still having the case tiny. I'll show the hardware in this rig, and then talk a little bit about why I chose the parts, and also elaborate a little bit more about the PC. Once you slide the cover off the case, the most striking thing about the build is the sheer amount of hardware which is crammed into the case. On the side, I have a GTX 970 Strix from Asus, which is no small card. Seated close by is the Noctua NHD14 CPU cooler, which is dissipating the heat from an Intel i7-4790, which is then seated on a H97i+ Mini-ITX motherboard from Asus. Also slotted into the motherboard is 16GB of Corsair Vengeance LP RAM at 1600 MHz. For storage, I have a 120GB Samsung SSD and a 3TB Seagate Barracuda hard drive. And to power this system, I have a Corsair AX760 power supply. Now this build has quite the strange part list, and that's the culmination of many builds prior to this one. My first build was in a Silverstone RV01, and then as I kind of felt that was too big, it progressed to a Fractal Design Define R4, which I liked but ended up ultimately scaling down to this Node 304. Some of the parts which I have put together in this system you might not immediately think of when going for a Mini-ITX system. My choice of cooling is one thing, with the large Noctua NHD14, which originated from my first build, and the large Strix 970 which I bought as it was the only 970 available at the time, and it had the addition of 0 RPM fans. I also opted for a non-overclockable CPU, as the money which I saved from the CPU, motherboard and cooler meant that I could put it into more important areas of the build, and it also meant less heat for a Mini-ITX system. My power supply is also a bit overkill, with 750 watts of power, but I was originally going to use it for Crossfire GPUs, but now I just have it for that platinum efficiency, 0 RPM fan feature, and of course bragging rights. So the history of this build has been a bit of a mismatch of parts, all culminating in this build, but I've really enjoyed the continual progression of it, and I imagine it will keep progressing. As for my setup, I'll run over it pretty quickly. The monitor is a 1440p Dell U2711, which is being held by an Ergotech Freedom arm. On the desk is a Scarlett 2i2 in white, which I painted, and also my Audio Engine A2 speakers, which run into the 2i2. My headphones, the K7XXs, also run into it, and also my Audio-Technica AT2020 microphone, which I'm recording with right now, which I hold up with a newer mic arm. My keyboard is a DAS Model S with blanks, although I think that's bound to change very soon, and my mouse is a Logitech G602, and I should have a review incoming of that. Finally, the desk is just a benchtop from some hardware shop, and a cabinet and legs to support it. So that's about it for the PC and build tour. If you have any specific questions about it, just feel free to ask it below. So I guess it's channel update time. So we just broke 100 subscribers if you didn't notice, and I would really like to thank you all because that does mean a lot, and I couldn't do this channel without you guys. So thank you a lot for that, and hopefully it just keeps going and I keep putting out content. There'll be a little bit of a drop as I move over to the other house, but once that's through, I hope to keep putting out more and more content. So thank you for watching, and if you haven't already, subscribe I guess. I've got lots of content coming up when I can get around to it. And if you are already subscribed, well thank you. So I guess I'll see you guys in the next one.